Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pages to Pixels. I'm Kevin, and this is my group of friends from my film club. I This is a very special episode. Not the kind where it's like you're teaching kids to say no to drugs. I'm talking about an episode where we're gonna divert from our usual format, and we're going to be talking about film festivals and watching movies with your friends. This last Halloween, I had a film festival. It was the sixth one, and it is just kind of screening favorite horror movies to my good friends over Discord. And so it is a bit of it's kind of a big project. It's stuff that you kind of try to put together because you want your friends to have a good time. But I started this about like 6 years ago, and it's been a really fun tradition. And so, thanks to being on Pages to Pixels and stuff, I've gotten to talk, about movies and dissecting scripts and stuff with my co-hosts. But we've had guests in the past that we've brought on, such as Carlos, who is a good friend of Rohan, and our classmates from NIFA. But we haven't really had an opportunity to do like a big episode. And so this actually has the most people in any Pages to Pixels episode. So I'm excited for you all to meet them, and we're just going to talk about a lot of the movies that we watched and what it kind of takes to put a little festival for your friends together. So yeah, I'm just gonna let everyone introduce themselves, starting with Aki.
Hi, I'm Aki. I've been participating in NDFF since the second one, and I actually attended every single movie this year, which I think is a first for me. I'm
I'm
not
sorry, I have to
entirely
give
sure how
some
to feel with
applause
it.
for that, by the way, because I think
Thank
it
you,
was just
thank
us
you.
that did it. It was so good.
Woo!
You're
It's
so
definitely
good at
been,
watching movies.
yeah, I like watching movies. And I think that as a result of NDFF, I realized that I do like horror a lot. Like, I definitely, like, hadn't watched that many horror movies until now, and now, like, I'm not a snob, but I found out, I've discovered what I like through doing this every year and watching a lot. I mean, probably, like, just, like, in terms of percentage of type of movie I've watched, horror has a huge percentage because of this.
hmm It's great to have you on, Aki, and I also want to mention that Aki is one of the two people who I've promoted to be like my helpers in the Discord,
That's right.
because they have been in so many watch parties since we did the film club and the festival. So yeah, thanks so much. And now on to Darby, who is not red but possibly evil.
Hard to say. You know, red doesn't mean everything in this world. It's just a color, but evil is in here
Speak for
actually. It's in our
yourself.
hearts.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm Darby. I just got a haircut. I've been in NDFF for I think also since the second one, maybe the third one. Been in since 2021, so there's been four since I joined, and I've always really enjoyed NDFF. I think it's a great opportunity for us to find and watch some pretty odd stuff. I think in general, we've definitely have, at this point, the film club has developed a very specific taste for a specific kind of odd movie. I'm sure we'll talk about that more as we go.
hmm
But I think that's just what happens when you screen, at this point, probably 180 movies or so over the course of 6 years, not to mention every other movie we watch. Um, we've definitely learned a lot in like what we like and what we want to see. And I think that it's been personally one of my favorite movies I found during NDFF. So I definitely think it's been responsible for expanding my horizons in terms of movies I enjoy. So yeah, I've really enjoyed being here.
That's awesome to hear. And also, you run your own short festival,
That's true.
Oogly
That's true.
Fest, which I
Yes,
unfortunately missed a lot of this year. I'm very sorry. But I have
it's all right.
enjoyed every attendance I've had.
Mm.
All right, now
Going
now
to
red and
Evil.
actually evil is Evan.
Hello, I'm Evan. I'm red and I'm evil.
That's scary.
Why are you
Now, why
laughing?
are you why are
Is
you
that
red
it?
and evil?
I'm red because I was born this way. And I'm evil because I didn't really enjoy that many movies from this. Did enjoy a couple, and a couple of those have some similarities. But in general, Film Club is the main outlet in which I watch movies because it is impossible to get me to watch a movie otherwise. So I watch most movies with my friends, and I like these guys. So Film
Thank
Club.
you, Mr. Red and Evil. I really appreciate it.
Laughing.
My name is Jaden. People online call me Jami. I've been at NDFF since NDF number one. And I love horror movies. I've always loved horror movies. It's always been one of my favorite genres. NDFF, genuinely my favorite time of the year, actually. I love Halloween. I love watching all the movies, even if they're garbage. We watch a lot of garbage, but we watch a lot of treasure, too. It's a mixture of garbage and treasure. It's like a beautiful little array of, like, expanding my taste level and also, like, making myself more brain rotted at the same time. So it's kind of beautiful.
Thank you, Jami. You have made it to many NDFF things despite having crazy night shift jobs that keep you from living a good life. So I'm
Yes.
very happy you
Yes,
were able to make so many this year.
I work the evil night shift. I go to graduate school during the day. I live
They're
my
trying to
life
kill
on
you.
NDFF. These people are trying to kill me, but I stay strong.
Last but not least, we have Olivia, who does not have her camera on, but she is the missing slop jigsaw killer, which for people
It's
tuning in,
it's
we have
true.
gotten to know.
People know me by that name. They know me.
Mhm.
They know me.
That is the
Uh,
jigsaw killer. Jigsaw killer.
Well, my name is Olivia. I think I've been attending NDFF since like the first year. You could correct me if I'm wrong in post.
No, you're
Um,
right.
And I'm one of two kind of like helpers along with Aki who helps like create week ideas for the film club as well as like helping sort out ideas for NDFF every year.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, I think I will say horror has always been one of my favorite genres, so NDFF was always like a perfect match for me. I love horror because it has like it could be so crazy, so stupid, and so awesome. And there's just so many different kinds of like horror out there that I just like I find it to be so like interesting how far the genre can go.
That's right. And I think I didn't really mention it at the beginning, but obviously since it's like all throughout October, this is a horror themed film festival. No shortage of horror movies that can be, screened in a festival. But it's funny because every single year I almost am like trying to figure out, okay, like what are we gonna include? What are we gonna not include? And that kind of comes down to like the way that
I'm really
do
glad
it.
that you became okay more with the idea of including more slop at NDFF. I think that was a really great choice.
Yeah,
It's like adding more to the palette.
I had to start succumbing to what I think everyone in this podcast felt, which was like, if a movie's bad, so what? We're gonna watch it. If a movie's just nonsense, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna have a fun time.
That's part of the fun and joy of watching movies together.
So yeah, I guess listen, you guys know me. I'm Gina Marie.
You guys know me.
Oh,
I'm Gina Marie.
Going.
I came into this game. All right.
You are
So
dynamic.
dynamic. So yeah, you guys can see we all have like kind of like inside jokes, which kind of segues into the next thing, which is like, what is Cobus Film Club. What does NDFF stand for? Kevin, what are you talking about? I already have Pages to Pixels as a name to break down. So like, what are you talking about? So Cobus Film Club is Cobus is me. That started, I think, after year 2 of NDFF, is I wanted to start going and running a film club where every week we watch at least a movie and we have like a theme that we vote around it. But the festival came first. So the festival idea came from just the fact that I really wanted to get together and watch a bunch of horror movies with my friends. The next year, it was kind of the same, but I think I took some like requests. And then after that, moving forward, it was mostly like a mix of me picking stuff and also getting requests from everyone, and then later we had like a full like submission form so that people submitted the top 3 movies they wanted to see. And I think most recently as last year we had like or I think it was like the year before that we actually had like short films and stuff, which, you know, so it kind of changed how we ended up watching things for the festival. This year, it was our 6th one, which is ripe with a lot of horror stuff, because we called it NDFF 666. And that would be, you know, the theming was kind of around like curses and stuff. I just wanted to go crazy. And so I feel like this year we had a very interesting list.
Do you want to give an example of some of the curses that people had to do?
I do want to, and I'd love to hear from some of you your favorite curses. But first, what is a curse in the context of the festival? So we're watching over Discord. We've all watched movies together, and sometimes when you're watching a movie, you want to just kind of clown around. So it's kind of like our version of like drinking games, but instead it's like doing something silly, like you would have to say a certain phrase. I remember we watched the movie Fear, in which Aki had to profess their love to Mark Wahlberg every time he appeared on screen.
That was definitely my
How was
favorite.
that experience?
It was fun to have to figure out new ways to do it. And I got hit with a lot of curses that involved talking about things, and none of that. That was the first, and that was definitely my favorite. The other ones didn't have the same. I don't know. That one forced me to quick on my feet in a way that I enjoyed more than the other ones, like the the Baby Jane one.
Oh, the Baby Jane
I was
curse
going
night
to
was
mention
nuts.
that one more because Baby Jane's movie I was planning on talking about. I also had a curse where I had to be quick on my feet because I had to run around every time Kevin told me to. That was for the movie Pinocchio 967 Pinocchio.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember
That's
when
my
I got
movie.
like. I remember when the curse was decided by spinning a wheel, and I managed to get the option that gave me all 3 symptoms of the curse. So I had to periodically get up and scurry around. I remember that one. I also had to say how much I love cheese and how much I'm so hungry for cheese every single time I was about to say something. I can't remember what the third one was.
It was rat
Um,
facts.
Oh, it was rat fact. You
Oh,
have to
I was
provide a
really
rat
good at
facts.
that one. I had to also tell facts about rats.
Yes, for the
That was
movie
for
Rat's Night of Terror.
Rats Night of Terror.
Evan,
See,
you ended up suggesting that movie, and I don't think it I don't know. It was quite
No, I
a
didn't like it. It was really boring.
it's not a very good movie.
See, I was really good at all the challenges, so I barely got cursed because I was so good all the time. But
I mean, I
when
wanted
I
to
did,
get
challenge
cursed.
beast.
but when I did get cursed, it was the Baby Jane one, and it was really annoying. where I had to ask everybody or talk only in questions, and I was just really bad at it the whole time. So people kept telling me that I was doing it wrong. So sorry.
The last one I really want to touch on is a special shout out to Evan for the night that we did I'm forgetting the movie. Shoot. you
was the
filmed in your
curse?
car that you were
Oh.
kidnapped.
Oh,
It was
that was
Trap.
in Trap.
Oh.
Trap.
That was for Trap.
Trap,
That was
yeah.
for Trap.
That boy was not trapped.
I was kidnapped by the butcher, and he carjacked me while I was at work as a delivery
You were
driver.
not trapped. You were not
and he
carjacked
tied
by
me
the
up
freaking butcher.
in the backseat of my car. And I had to wiggle around back
That's-
there for like hours and hours. And Jade didn't even care.
Nope, I didn't because it wasn't real. It was all smoke and mirrors.
How did you get out?
I was saved. I
Saved,
don't know, I
yeah.
wasn't there. I was at work. I don't know what happened in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
In the end, the curses, they kind of impact the movie experience. Like, we take them a little less seriously, but I think at the same time, we also watched a lot of really good, solid movies, and I can't wait to talk about them. We all kind of have brought at least like one to talk about. Kind of, we aren't going to go too in depth. There may be a couple of spoilers for some of these movies moving ahead. But yeah, I mean, who wants to share first? Like, what was your either favorite movie of the festival, or what movie stood out to you that warrants a discussion here today?
Don't be
I can
shy.
start just because we already talked about it a little bit, but probably my favorite movie of the festival. So I guess I should also say, because I don't think anyone said this so far, that the way this festival worked was that we submitted movies. We
Mhm.
had a few. We could send ideas to Kevin, then Kevin would set them up into an actual lineup, and I ended up submitting a bunch of weird movies, and those movies were good. But my actual favorite ended up being something I didn't submit, and it was a movie called Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. It's been on my list for a really long time. It's a kind of important movie. There's a lot of interesting backstory to it, the history of its two leading actresses. But then I also quite enjoyed the film watch because it was a very strange curse, and it made for a very strange viewing experience. I wouldn't say that I'd like to watch every movie in a way where we're trying to both watch a movie and also dodge a curse. I don't think anyone said how we got the curse, but the way it worked was everyone was essentially trying to get other people to get mad, or you could say rage bait
Rage
them,
bait.
because if you successfully got rage baited, you would be cursed to only ask questions. And so it made for a very strategically interesting field, because if you could get everyone else to be cursed, then they can't really rage bait you because all they can do is ask questions. That's not very annoying. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but it's not that annoying. So gradually, more and more people got thinned out from one mode or another. I think the way that we got Kevin out, Kevin was the first to go, is that we all just started opening up
You're
separate.
already wrong. Rewrite
First
history.
to go-
Already wrong because Kevin got
That was
rated because
Aki.
I put him
Oh, Aki?
into
Okay,
I put him into
you're right.
Glock and put B.
I
No,
got
okay,
Baby
okay,
Jane
wait,
trying
let me-
to rage bait Kevin.
No,
I got annoyed.
I was about to explain that. So the way that we didn't rage bait Kevin with this successfully. What we did rage bait Aki is we just started putting different streams. So I opened up my own stream of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and just started streaming the movie separately. And then Olivia started streaming Roblox. And
I started streaming Balatro.
and you started streaming Balatro. And eventually, and for the record, this is the only time I think I watched my own stream that entire time, so I never rejoined back into the original. So I got the best quality I've ever had on NDFF because I wasn't watching it through Discord. But in any case, that didn't rage bait Kevin, but it did get Aki out because Aki was annoyed.
Yeah.
And they started complaining, and then they got kicked out. And then, Evan, you can explain if you'd like to.
Oh,
Like
and after all
Kevin.
that,
Oh my
I
god.
started
Evil- red and evil
using the hate
strikes
for
again.
AI. I don't like AI either. But
Oh,
I
well, you
started
use
putting
it a lot,
the-
buddy.
Oh, Jesus.
I started putting images of my friends into Grok and asking them to do make it do strange things, like make Kevin look really sad. And what if Kevin looks? What would he look like if he was stung by 100 bees? And I also
was
got
that face,
Jaden
Kevin?
out in the same way by
It
putting
was my
them
sad
underwater and making them
That
look
was not-
old.
That's not the
And
prompt you
they
put in.
got mad
That's
at me.
okay though. It's not the prompt.
And
you
also,
put in,
and
but
also
really
make
are
it beautiful
default.
and make Johnny more beautiful, right? Wasn't that the other one?
yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was make my
Make-
boyfriend look more beautiful. Yes, it was. Really
And it made them old.
And it made them just
Yeah,
look
yeah.
old. It was weird.
It was very strange.
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was my movie that I submitted because I really wanted to watch it, and I've been meaning to watch it forever, and I loved that movie. It was the one that I wanted to talk about if I didn't choose the movie that I was going to talk about today. So I'm very glad it got brought up. I think it's just iconic. It's a classic. The history of that movie
I
is
had first heard
insane.
about that movie.
Mhm.
RuPaul's
I-
Drag
Yeah,
Race
like the
acting
insane feud, right?
That makes
I
sense.
thought-
That it's
That's
a
a-
very RuPaul friendly movie, I would say.
It is.
happened
It is
to
a
Baby
challenge on
JJ?
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who plays Blanche? I forget who plays Blanche.
It's Alaska. Alaska.
It is Alaska,
Got
isn't it?
the lady sing this
I would say
song.
I do quite like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Although when I do think about that movie, I think if I had to pick my favorite aspect of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, it would be Betty Davis's performance in that movie.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
she brings a lot of character to her role. She went crazy. It was such a good performance. She does such a good job of also depicting her character as age regressing in real time. It's really it's just really cool.
And
Not
it's also-
just in sorry.
No, you go.
It's not just in her tone of voice, but her body mannerisms also.
Mm.
I think Joan Crawford also does
Yeah,
a
I
really
agree.
good job of looking like a sad dog. The whole movie.
I think I think that both of them are great, but I do think for Betty Davis specifically, it's also really interesting in the context of her career, because on some level those kind of roles had always been a bit of her bread and butter. She had, I believe in the early 50s, she had a movie where she was a fading star, and then she's also in All About Eve, where she's
Yeah.
probably a more happy fading star. So she always had.
She's
no,
chill
we're
about
not-
it.
in the last decade, she'd already done a good number of roles like that, and she'd also always been sort of willing to play these wilder characters. But in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, she just goes completely off the wall. It's it's the kind of performance you just don't expect from a golden age actress. I feel like it's really fascinating. And you can't really imagine anyone from that era who wasn't Betty Davis in that role, which I think is a testament to both its quality and just how strange a performer she was.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was one of my favorites of the festival. It was a rewatch for me, but I echo pretty much the same things here. Aki, you were gonna say?
Yeah. I think I was probably the one who liked the movie the least. I thought it was okay, but I didn't love it. But I do think it is definitely an interesting movie to look at, and how you're right, it has all this golden age context, but it's also sort of an exploitation movie.
Yes.
And that's an interesting that's an interesting combination, that Betty Davis is in a movie that Wikipedia describes as a hagsploitation Psycho Biddy movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of
it is
crazy.
the hagsploitation Psycho Biddy
Yeah.
movie. And it is so funny that it created this whole genre. It's sort of flirting with being a straight up B movie, and then the movies it inspires are all just complete trashy, just
Grease
they all
figures.
have. And they all have names that are rip-offs of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. They're Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, or Hush Hush Sweet Darling. They're all these. It's so odd.
It's also just a bizarre movie in general. It's not really something that you would expect to be as popular as it was. It really made a lot of big bucks, which is, I mean, obviously Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, but that movie is strange. It's very bizarre. It's all about a woman who's age regressing and screaming a lot and talks like this. So
Her song performance is also really creepy, but really funny too. I've
I really like-
written a letter to Daddy or something.
I really like when she pulls out a little doll of herself when she was from when she was 10. and gives it to the guy, and he's like, I don't want this. Basically.
Can't a lady sing this song?
I mean, I guess spoiler warning, I guess, but like, probably my favorite moment of the film was near the end where she's on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good part.
Absolutely.
It's just like, it's definitely like my favorite part.
It's a little strange to do ratings a little early, but I want to introduce you guys to the rating scale of Pages to Pixels. So when we
special.
move on from each movie,
It's special.
We gotta see.
I have some kind of self-reporting here that I haven't watched it before.
it's all right. So the way that it works is it's on the script coverage scale, so it's really just 3 options. Pass, which means you don't like the movie. Consider, which means that you think it's just okay, and recommend, which means that you love it. Even though one of them literally says recommend, it's actually not a recommendation. It's treated as like a score from like 1 to 10. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Starting with Darby, since it was your movie, what would you rate Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
I think it's a very easy recommend, if you ask me. Am
Uh,
I understanding it correctly?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. How would I want to pass it to everyone. Aki.
What was the middle one? Consider?
Yeah.
Yeah, consider.
Jami. I guess feel free to like go like as
I-
after someone else knows.
I recommend. Especially if you love old Hollywood films, I think that it's a classic.
Mhm.
Recommend. My big red thumb.
Big
I
Red.
would also, yeah, I would also recommend if you're like a big fan of just like crazy and insane performances in movies, especially ones that are a bit over the top.
Mhm. It's a solid recommend for me too. Sorry, Aki.
It's
You
fine.
left out of
I'm
this
happy you
group.
guys all love this movie. It's no skin off my back.
We're killing
okay.
Aki after this. We're not. It's
Um,
not okay for you to not like this movie.
We're gonna draw.
We're not afraid
I
to
do
say
like
it.
this movie.
Well,
Yeah,
since
exactly.
you don't recommend this movie, what movie do you want to talk about, Aki?
The movie I want to talk about is Society by Brian Yinza.
Mhm.
This movie's actually like not like I listed out I ranked all the movies yesterday, and this was only like number 10, but a lot of things above it were things I already knew other people wanted to talk about, and also like some of them were stuff I had already seen, and it was like a rewatch. I didn't want to bring that up, and also just this is a movie that like I think it's just really cool. It's definitely one where it's like I hadn't seen it mentioned before, and I thought it was awesome, and I would like to kind of pass that along. It's it kind of follows this guy who lives in, I don't know if it's special, but like like it's like a fancy like California town, and he likes to like play sports and go to the beach, and he's kind of like like sort of a jock guy.
Kind of like me, right? Like kind of like a jock.
No.
like
Like,
Kevin.
yeah.
And then he finds out that the rest of his family is in like a weird like sex cult, and that he is maybe the like that like maybe a bunch of the like people in this town are, and he's being excluded, and he doesn't really know why and why these people are doing this thing. So then like it kind of like it has this kind of like very 80s like poppy rich aesthetic, but then like it has like this like really weird like B movie quality to like the
Mhm.
horror and like the scare element. I think it's like a really I wouldn't go as far to say it's like a unique combination, but it's a really well done version of that mashup of like the tone and like the setting. I thought it was just like really cool, and I was like, I'd never heard of it. I was like, I can't believe I've never heard of this movie almost.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I picked that one for the program. I didn't mention earlier. Yeah, I think Jaden said that they picked Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Society was one of the ones that I preloaded into the festival. It was a rewatch for me as me, and I thought that I liked it even more on a rewatch. I caught on to a lot of the cult like clues. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're in a cult the whole time, but there's like other things that they're saying that you're wondering like what is it really building up to? Um, is he really being like gaslit, and like what actually is the motives behind the cult and like what they're aiming to do? And I just thought it was a really clever movie that really comes together, no pun intended, in the final act. Um,
No,
but
definitely.
yeah,
There's a lot of things
Shunt.
you just can't say, but
the
yeah.
shunting. Evan looks like he's in the shunting right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
I think that it's easy as a movie to talk about just that like last bit, but honestly, my favorite part of it probably was the first half, where it just has a really eerie. I think there's something generally just satisfying and interesting about movies about secret societies and conspiracy,
Hmm.
and in this case, where it's combined with this very um, yeah, I guess sort of B movie-ish horror. It does some. It's a very interesting combination. It's a little bit arty, and then mostly kind of gross and weird. And I really enjoyed it. In the back half, blunt, I would say, and more funny than the first half. I do think it's also very quality. I really, um, without spoiling too much, I think that the it keeps it just vague enough about what is actually going on to not make it feel really to still leave a bit of intrigue, and I really value that in a movie where it doesn't feel the need to entirely explain itself, even though we do mostly come to understand this conspiracy.
Back.
Glad you're back.
I was here for the first like half of the screening, and then I had to leave, so I went and I watched the rest of the movie on my own actually the next morning because I was very intrigued. And I think that that type of movie, Society, is like a perfect mixture of horror movies that I love. I love body horror. I love nasty, nasty stuff. That movie delivers on the nastiness. The special effects in that movie, or the practical effects, are so wonderful. The ending scene is unlike almost anything I've ever seen in any horror movie, which I think is fantastic because I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of horror movies, and I think that it's a really, really bizarre movie. I mean, it's a really strange concept. It's a lot of like weird like sexual tension between like every character in the whole movie. It feels like, including his sister. It's really bizarre. But yeah, it's like a perfect like slop B movie. I'd love to watch it again. It's great.
I was glad you all enjoyed it. Um, Evan and Olivia, I think you both were not there for this one. Am I right?
Yes,
I
I
was
was
not.
not at Society.
I
Well,
tend
um,
to
yeah.
make like half of the movies usually. Um, but this, for any if it's any consolation, this is one of the ones that I am kind of sad that I missed.
I am too.
Do.
I think both of you would probably like it a lot. So,
I
um,
plan to maybe
yeah.
try watching Society on my own at one point. I know that I saw the majority of the movies here at NDFF this year.
Mhm.
There were some I missed, which I think people are also going to talk about, but it's okay.
I somehow made most of the movies, which is honestly a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle, a black Christmas miracle, which I didn't make. I didn't make it to that one actually. But I don't know. It was wonderful. I thought that I would not be able to make like any movies this year, but I think I've seen all of the ones we're talking about today.
I think when it comes to attendance, right, like, and this is something that I want to kind of mention more for people who may want to like start doing stuff like this. I would say just don't get discouraged. I think there was like a couple times in the previous years where I think it was like once or twice we had no one show up. It was just me. And I was like, damn, I feel really bad. But like, there's external circumstances that you cannot control. And everyone has days where they literally can't make it. And then sometimes it's literally just you and like one friend, like shout out to Will, watching the movie that he suggested alone in a channel, and it's really fun, like a bonding experience. So like we've had so many different dynamics because we get like big watch parties like this. I think with whatever happened to Baby Jane, I think literally everyone who was talking about it, we were all the only ones there.
Yeah.
And yeah, then there's smaller ones where it was just like three of us. But yeah. With that said, let's move on to ratings for Society. I would give this movie a recommend as well. I think it's pretty great. Not as good as Baby Jane, but I do think that as a horror movie, it's really campy, it's really gross, and it's very unique. So yeah.
I would
Yeah,
give
I'd give
Society a
recommend.
recommend. Oh, okay.
I would give it a recommend also.
Woo, 4 recommends. That
Yes.
Yeah.
boosts the average.
That's
Definitely
true. I
if you
mean, this
like,
movie's
like
actually.
Stepford Wives-esque things, but with like more
I will
gore.
say-
Mm.
I will say
I
that
think it's a better
that
movie than
this
Stepford Wives.
I think this movie is for less people than Baby Jane is. I would say. Maybe,
Yeah.
That's probably
maybe,
true.
Probably.
I'd say it's a great movie for people who would want to join a horror movie festival.
yes.
I think
yes.
if that's up, if you're up, yeah, if you're interested in this whole idea, you'd like this movie.
Yeah, it's like pure genre fare.
Yeah.
We haven't heard from Evan and Olivia for a little bit about movies, so why don't
I
we
haven't
go
seen
with?
it, Kevin.
I know, I was giving them the. Since you want to be rude, since you
You
want to be
didn't even
rude,
let
I'm
us
gonna
finish
get
talking.
I'm gonna get Olivia to say what movie she wanted to talk
Whatever.
about.
So, the
I
movie
I
I
do hate
really,
Kevin.
really wanted to talk about is the full title is Banned from Broadcast, the movie Psycho, The Large Family from 2009. I was already quite excited to watch this when I saw it was on the calendar. I was already very excited because I had heard of it before. Nothing too like spoilery, and I was so ecstatic while watching it because it was just right up my alley. It helped me realize that probably one of my favorite kinds of horror is mockumentary style horror. And
Mhm.
I think that especially one of the cool things about the watch party we had at the time was that Aki was there, and they know Japanese, and so occasionally
I know some genre.
you know some.
I mean,
yeah.
you
know
taking
enough.
like classes.
You know enough to basically like give us some insight into like some of the stuff that none of us would like pick up on during the watch party, which I think is such an interesting concept to me, especially since like the movie is like presented with a English speaking especially, and she's clearly in the dark as well. And I think that the movie's really good at being subtle about its like horror to many points where you often will miss things in the background that are right in front of you. It's a very subtle horror movie.
Definitely, it is, and this is another one that I ended up picking, but Aki had seen it and wanted to also put it on the list. Or wait, you had seen it or you hadn't?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I watched it in November, and I think I immediately texted you. We have to watch this at NDFF this year because I was
Mhm.
like, we need to show other people this movie.
Yeah, it's really nuts. And when I saw it too, I really wanted to show it as well because I think we had run a couple of mockumentaries in the past. Kind of they have a great shock factor. Lake Mungo is one that comes to mind as
Yeah,
a
I love
comparison
Lake
for this movie.
Mungo.
But yeah, like it's one that I found out from the YouTuber Rainbot. And when she started talking about it, I just went and instantly watched it, and then I watched the video, and I think there were like things that I did not notice in the movie that when she went over it in the video, my jaw dropped. I was just like, I can't believe like there were things that were just in the background or things that were almost in your face that you just don't even pay attention to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it was just a really eerie movie that doesn't aim to like scare you or gross you out too much, but does try to unsettle you. And I think that that
Yeah.
is really what makes it effective.
It's very unique to me in that it's a movie that I find to be just basically just very unsettling.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's especially I feel like the way it's structured makes you think at first that obviously nothing is like going wrong. And only as you get in later, it's just like, oh, this family kind of has like some problems going on with it. And then you look further in and you're just like, dude, this family's like effed up.
I
This
can't
is
believe the
an
family
effed
is
up
messed
family.
You could say it's an effed up movie.
up. .com.
Maybe.
.com.
It's definitely
I
yeah.
enjoyed the movie a lot. I will say though, I am definitely maybe not the most perceptive person in the world. So I did not pick up on a lot of the things going on in the movie until pointed out afterwards. So it's like I think I would enjoy it even more if I rewatched it. I think it's a
Hmm.
movie that's good for that. So one day I'll rewatch it. Um, no promises when, but one day I will. I'll make time.
Definitely that kind of movie. I think also kind of like going on like the language or like cultural background. I've watched a fair amount of Japanese produced English language TV documentaries in my time, so like to see a horror movie that's aping that style is very surreal.
You mean are those like very like educational content almost is how they were produced?
Sort of. I mean, like, there's a lot of them are just like travel shows or
Hmm.
like kind of like tourism ads basically, where it's just like here's a white guy and he goes around a city in Japan and like he goes to restaurants or whatever, or like
Hmm.
probably the one more akin to this. I haven't seen anything quite like Psycho, but there's this show on NHK World called 72 Hours where a documentary crew just goes to a place for 3 days and they just interview people. And there's always a one really sad story where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy's just telling the TV crew this. But so that's probably the closest. That was a good show. I haven't watched it in a long time though.
Also, for those not knowing, the nickname that Aki has in this call is Sumio of the father who stepped up.
Yeah, the
Um,
stepfather,
That's
the
true.
Psycho family.
um, I think it was your
Kind of
costume that
goaded.
ended up winning our costume
Yeah.
contest as well over Discord.
Like one of my favorite things was like the choice of like who was like basically narrating or like hosting the movie
Hmm.
because it feels very intentional because Veronica, oh dear Veronica, she doesn't know anything wrong is going on. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome that the English speaking host also has just no clue that stuff is like going wrong.
In a way, but she does also witness the daughter like beating the crap out of
Yeah, oh
Sumio
yeah, she
at dinner.
yeah. And then she goes just like, "Oh, the poor Psycho family. The poor Psycho family. They're just cursed to be this way."
There's lots of scenes in
It's
that
also
movie that are just
yeah.
like her being like, here they are playing on the playground together. And then
It's
like
also
there's
really
something
funny
really
that
messed
yeah.
up happening.
It's funny that they say she's Canadian, but her accent's not Canadian. It's like somewhere else in the Commonwealth.
Maybe she's British and also Canadian. I don't know. Maybe she
Yeah.
moved to Canada.
Brenadian. Yeah. Veronica is one of my favorite parts of that movie, and it's strange because that whole cast, for the most part, I'm pretty sure are just like very unknown actors, which is again another advantage of mockumentaries, like the lesser known person, the more realistic it's going to be. But yeah, with that, Olivia, what would you score Saiko, the large family?
I'd definitely give it a recommend. I think it's just a really good watch, especially if you're a big fan of like mockumentary style movies. I think you'd love it.
I'm in the same boat.
Recommended.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
That's awesome. We got another across the board. We're talking about all the good movies. Why don't we take a quick break
Right.
from our good movie format? I'm going to give everyone exactly 60 seconds to talk about the worst movie that they watched at the festival and why it was the worst.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let me look at my movies.
Okay, I have it off rip. I'm ready to go.
What should I start with, Jami?
I think you should just go ahead and get started. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So your 60 seconds start now.
Okay, I watched 1313 Hercules Unbound. This is a film by the famous David Decatur. He makes a whole bunch of horrible, amazing slop movies that are just a bunch of half-naked men walking around and doing nothing for the entire time. But this one is especially bad because it is a bunch of naked men walking around his backyard that he calls ancient Greece, and they just kind of do this a lot, and they like hit each other with swords, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna fight you, and then they fight, and they don't fight, and they don't do anything. The whole movie they don't do anything. It's like an hour and a half of like nonsense. They throw a lot of things. They throw sticks.
An hour and a half.
They throw sticks at stuff and like rocks.
And they stand by
Three,
his
Definitely
two,
repeat a lot.
which is
one.
very obviously a pool at like a mansion, and they just
That was ancient Greece, Evan. That was ancient Greece.
It was ancient
it
Greece.
was obviously his pool. That's in every
Oh, there's
single
that
other
woman
movie.
too. There's that iconic woman.
Athena.
It was the iconic goddess.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
Go.
Okay,
Ew.
your time starts now.
Okay, my least favorite movie that we watched was Smiley, which I guess technically wasn't. It was the pre-game sort of, but I'm gonna count
No, it was the first one. It was
Oh,
the
it was
first
the
movie.
first one.
Yeah.
And it's about it's basically just about the anonymous hacker known as 4chan or whatever. Like that's the movie basically. It's a horror movie about internet hackers. That's mostly known for having Shane Dawson and Toby Turner in it. Toby Turner's not even really in it. He's like the comic relief character in a few scenes. Shane Dawson isn't in it. His name's Pedo Bear. It's like it's a 2012 version of like 2009 that already feels dated and just like I feel like I'm kind of a snob about like internet, like art about the internet, and Smiley Face just doesn't do a very good job at it. So. It was the type of movie that pissed me off, especially at the end. The ending was really annoying.
The ending was
That's
really bad
it.
in that movie.
Yeah, that's it.
It was
I
really
will
good.
say, Smiley was much better than I thought Smiley would be. I thought it would be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was not that.
I thought that
Yeah.
Smiley would be absolutely terrible. There were some aspects of it that I liked, but only because I thought it was insane.
Like the
I
guy
can
who
go
like,
next.
has a gun, and he's just
I can
like,
go.
Here goes Darby. Time starts now.
All right. So right now, Miramax is developing a Monster Mash movie. They're going to tell you that that's the original, but you need to know that's dead wrong. Because in the 90s, the original man himself, Bobby Boris Pickett, developed his own classic Monster Mash: the movie. And it's an important film. It's got everything you'd want. It's got the vampire. It's got Dracula, werewolves. Elvis is a mummy.
It's got the girl from Full House.
It's got the girl from Full House before she became a Hallmark lady, and then got so mad at Hallmark for not being Christian enough that she left for like Christian Hallmark. It's got everything. It's a beautiful film. It is extremely unfunny and not at all worth watching, even as a joke. But it was interesting to see them reference pop culture and stuff and be like, this is an actual movie that exists. I'm watching it. It's in front of my eyes.
Great synopsis.
Thank you for the
Jaden on the
facts,
move.
Darby.
I'm on the move because
When I saw the
I hope
Monster
my Wi-Fi will
Mash
be better over here.
announcement, Darby, I hit the Discord immediately. Because I
Gosh,
was
it's so
like,
bright.
you have to know about this now.
Yeah, that happened like a week after we screened it. It was crazy.
It's kind of crazy. I thought that
Damn
like
it, the lighting's so bad.
we watched Mermaid in the Manhole like before Monster Mash. I thought I'd like maybe Monster Mash more, but I hated Monster Mash.
Monster Mash is a
It
very
was-
boring film, unfortunately.
It was unfortunately
It's just
boring.
boring.
Like in a better world, it would at least be funny or insane. But it's clear they only had the budget for like 5 rooms and 10
I'll tell you what,
actors. And
There are a lot of pop culture references in
and
Monster
every
Mash.
time there's a song, I forgot to mention it's a musical. Every time there's a song, there's the same 2 backup dancers because they could only afford 2 of them, and they just show up and do terrible dances and then disappear again. It's really strange.
They had
Alright,
to have those 2 dancers.
My turn.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay.
Go!
No!
Okay. Can you stop rushing me? My least favorite movie of NDFF 666 is Truth or Dare, because we watched a better version of Truth or Dare
Oh my God.
early in the month called Cry Wolf. It's a Truth or Dare game, and they have to be truthful or they die. It's just probably the most boring concept for a movie ever. There is countless amounts of movies that are that exact same concept but better or more nuanced, like Cry Wolf. And Cry Wolf ends better, and Truth or Dare is just not a single character in that movie is likable or anything really. It's like the most milquetoast movie you've ever seen in your life. There is no real conflict. They like to pull shock factor. It's just kind of a shit movie.
And time.
I mean, it's no Truth or
Good
Dare
job.
Everybody's
2036.
just
That
stealing
was-
my least favorites. Everybody's
That was an
stealing my least
interesting one
favorites.
too, because we had a pretty good curse that time, which was Truth or Dare the game. We just played it while watching
Well-
the movie.
Yeah, that was way more fun than the
And
actual movie.
It means I barely even remember the movie. I was
I
focused
was
on.
gonna say that the
game.
thing about Truth or Dare is that it kind of has this weirdly intriguing concept for a horror movie, but then it doesn't really do anything super interesting with it. It's basically just like, what if Truth or Dare dared you to kill people? Which is really not that interesting in the grand scheme of things. I think it would have
And then
been
what if you
cooler.
didn't do it? You died.
I think it would have been cooler if they basically had to tell the truth about everything going on in their lives, because that's so much more horrific than being just like, I dare you to stab this person.
6.
Oh,
And then the
God.
stupid Snapchat face smile, like, dude.
And every time it happens, they have to like make sure that it happened, because every single time it happens, somebody got it on video and it goes on the internet. And they're like, see, it's happening. Look, see, I'm not crazy. And they have to like reintroduce the concept. They have to like ease you into it with like the first couple killings, but it goes on for like an hour. It's like it's so bad. Why do we have to keep reintroducing the premise of the movie? Is it that boring?
I need a tiny bit of time to figure out my least favorite, because all my least favorites got stolen. So
Okay.
just a
Kevin,
just a
you
second.
go.
what? Yeah, let me go.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of David Dakota, there is, we watched a bunch of his movies, like every single year. We watched the 1313 films because it's just a running joke. Once we found one, it was Bigfoot Island, and it was hilarious to us, and we've since rewatched it. We just cannot get enough out of watching these just idiotic shirtless guys running through the woods, my absolute favorite one so far is not technically a 1313 movie, but it is Bigfoot versus DB Cooper. And it was one of the worst movies ever. And it is every second of this movie is like, okay, two guys are gonna go into the woods with their guns to shoot turkeys. They come out there, they're like, there's a bear. Oh my God. And then they come back and they're like, we should go back. And they run away. And then they come back and then they do the exact same thing. And they repeat the exact same scene again. And then there's like DB Cooper's plot, which is just taking the Wikipedia about DB Cooper and just reading it out with like barely one scene on a plane, which is clearly just like a dressed up set of his living room that he uses in every single movie. It's insane. Please watch it.
It's got some
You'll love
Taxi
the ending.
Driver.
You'll love the ending of Bigfoot versus DB Cooper because something crazy happens to DB Cooper. I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch it. Go watch
I watched
Bigfoot
about
versus
a
DB
quarter
Cooper.
of Bigfoot vs. DB Cooper from bed with no audio, and I will say that was definitely a Dakota movie. If you like Dakota, you will like DB Cooper.
I'd like to push back on what Kevin said. I don't think that Bigfoot vs. DB Cooper is a bad movie at all. In fact, I think it is a masterpiece. It is a movie
It's
that
one of his best.
brought me
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
one
joy.
of his most genius.
Brought me a
It's
lot
on
of
the
joy.
same
If you check my
Yeah.
letterbox, it is a 10 out of 10. So don't get me wrong.
It's a film filled with action and adventure, and lots of people pointing guns at mirrors and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go.
You have to watch a David Dakota audio commentary track at some point.
we
Who's
should.
looking
We,
at
we should watch that one
Yes.
for the
Drop
Attack of the
Okay,
Killer
I
Bees.
think I know what I'm going to do.
All right, your time starts now.
Okay, this one's a little bit personal. I've seen every single Ao Oni movie. So we decided that for the second to last movie of NDFF, we were going to watch Ao Oni the animation from 2017. Not the shorts, the movie. The animation. And it's in 3D. That's like fine. I have no problem with 3D anime, but this movie just sucks. It's quite literally insane. It's probably the craziest Ao Oni movie out there, if anybody has ever seen them. It's probably, I would say it's like my least favorite, just in terms of like how much it changes, because it's so weird. It's just so weird. There's like a whole plot with just like a guy like effing a flower. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. I don't recommend it at all. Unless you're like if you're a hardcore Ao Oni fan, I think you should watch it because I think you'll maybe find some joy in it. I found some joy in it, but I also found a lot of hate in my heart for this movie.
Yeah, that's some crazy kills.
It did have crazy
did.
kills.
I somehow
And a guy
missed
who looked like a
every-
Muppet the whole time.
I've missed every Ao Oni
He's like-
movie shown in Film Club. Like total. Like all of the Blue Demons and the Ao Oni the animation.
Hmm.
I mean, we decided to watch Ao Oni the animation on like a whim. Just because it was literally like 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
We
I
also
don't regret
watched,
watching it. Because now that means I don't ever have to watch it again.
So I guess we'll just go jump back into talking about the movies we loved.
I have brought to the table a movie called 964 Pinocchio. Now,
Yes!
if we 964 Pinocchio is kind of a tough sell to somebody who isn't like a freak and doesn't like watching strange things, because the basic plot summary, without giving any spoilers, which I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to spoil 964 Pinocchio, is 964 Pinocchio is a sex slave cyborg dude that gets like disposed by his owners, and then he screams and he vomits, and he meets a girl, and she screams and she vomits, and they run around and they do all sorts of crazy things together. Now,
And there is a
I
lot of screaming
know,
and vomiting.
And I know,
There is a
I
lot of
know that
screaming.
sounds like, wow, that's a movie that's just screaming and vomiting. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. But it's very stylized. I think it's very cool. There's a lot of really, like, gross, disgusting, but, like, amazing shots. I think Pinocchio is so awesome. I don't, the character of Pinocchio, he just runs around and screams, and he has an iconic look. If you've ever seen the poster, um,
He does have
you
quite an
won't
iconic
forget
look.
him. You won't forget him. He has like one strand of hair coming out of his head. It's really cool.
He really does. He looks like Charlie Brown a little bit.
The movie really reminds me of Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yes. It
Yeah,
definitely.
You can
I feel
tell
like
that he worked as an assistant on that movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it shares a lot of the same DNA as Tetsuo the Iron Man. If you liked Tetsuo the Iron Man, I would say you have like a 99% chance of enjoying 964 Pinocchio, because they're kind of in the same vein of like nasty movie that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it just looks very visually interesting. And I like watching a lot of surrealist like horror films. Those are some of my faves.
Though I would say that 964 definitely feels different. Like it's kind of slower than Tetsuo.
Yeah, I agree.
Also,
I
if you
think
like
that-
that one scene in Possession.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
that's what it reminds me of a little more.
Yeah, exactly. Probably.
Which
yeah.
I also love that movie, so.
Mm-hmm. I've always likened it to like a PS1 or PS2 commercial. Like, it just, something about the way the movie looks is just like magical to me. Like, I feel like I've been transported into a techie, futuristic commercial, but the contents are really like terrifying. And I think that honestly, some of those early gaming commercials are actually really scary, like intentionally. So it kind of feels like it fits with that. And yeah, just I don't know what this movie has to do with Pinocchio. Like the children's story.
It's the
But,
Pinocchio story.
yeah.
That's his name. He
Guess
doesn't
he's an
tell any
artificial
lies.
Boy, I don't know.
He is an artificial boy,
It's
but he
true.
doesn't really tell any lies in the movie because he doesn't really talk very much. They kind of just live in like a dumpster for a
Hey,
while.
he's not really Pinocchio in anything else but name.
Pinocchio does
Right,
get...
any other thoughts on it? Yeah, Joey.
Pinocchio does get his revenge, though. That's what I was gonna say. Pinocchio comes back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm. I was doing it earlier. I'm gonna do it again. It's like, ah!
Lots of close-up
It's
shots
just a
of the
very
face.
visually interesting movie.
It's just like all in your face.
It kind of feels like you're getting beat up the whole movie a little bit, because it's just screaming, it's punching you in the face with a bunch of like crazy imagery of like, it's just like
The movie
screaming.
The movie is quite literally in your face the whole time, which is very cool. I would definitely recommend it personally.
Awesome. I also would score it as a recommend.
I would recommend it too. It was my favorite first time watch of the festival, excluding Bigfoot versus DB Cooper. I probably would have picked it if I didn't know Jaden was picking it.
I obviously would give it a recommend, but I also have to acknowledge the fact that it is not a movie for everyone. In fact, it might be a movie for almost, not no one. It's for people who are online and weird surrealist movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people who are kind of different and special, like
if we're kind of different and special, and you're like a little weird, you got a little something going on in there, then maybe you might like this movie.
Darby, are you able to rate it as you were scurrying around your house for
It's
the curse?
true. The scurrying did interrupt me, but I still think I can give it a solid recommend. You know,
That's
if I'll probably rewatch it at some point without scurrying, and then I might be able to give it an even firmer recommendation. But you know, it's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have
Awesome.
to break the chain here and give it a consider.
Wow.
Because it is just a lot of screaming and vomiting. And after a while, I kind of got tired of the screaming and vomiting.
That's fair.
Because you're weak.
I'm glad I'm not
Well-
alone in giving a consider.
It's because I'm not
this podcast.
insane like you. I'm not insane in membrane like you. I'm just evil,
Yeah.
not insane. Difference. Break the chain.
Well, okay, Mr. Break the Chain. What
Oh, jeez.
what movie did you
Or
bring?
break the chain. Yeah.
I bring to the table 2 movies because I think what I liked so much about them both is very similar. I'm bringing Mad God and Violence Voyager, which are both. How long is Violence Voyager? That movie's like 80 something minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
They're both sub 90 weird experimental animation movies, and I'm an animator myself, and I've taken quite a few classes about experimental and stop motion animation in movies and things like that, and I've done a fair bit of research on it, and I hadn't seen these movies beforehand, but I knew the story of Paul Tippett, or not Phil, Phil Tippett, and his special effects works on a bunch of blockbuster movies like Jurassic Park and Star Wars, and did he work on Star Wars? I think so.
I think
He
so.
did. Yeah.
Yes.
He did. And like a lot of Spielbergs, a lot of like high budget Spielbergs. So I knew that he would deliver on the insanity. And I think that both Violence Voyager and Mad God both draw most of their intrigue from not really the story or the characters, but just the world building and the use of the medium itself. Violence Voyager is entirely paper cutouts and paintings, and it's like on popsicle sticks, just kind of moving things around, and it's so bizarre. But like, I feel like that movie has like a character unlike anything else that we have shown in NDFF ever. Just based on how, like, I don't want to say it's amateurish, but like anybody could have made that movie. It's just paper and like some pyrotechnics and like some tubes that like make like blood and vomit and other liquids spew out of the paper. I feel like that and Mad God, which is just like this towering, huge, expansive like world that's been built from the ground up, just entirely out of practical effects. And there's no like characters in that movie really, just kind of like people walking around. But you see all the moving parts of this world, and it's just like in awe to the eyes. And it's just like I just think both of those movies capture something that intrigues me like a lot, like nothing else. I feel like having most of the character of the movie be not what the character themselves is an interesting way to tackle feature film, and they both do it very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very interesting
It was-
and very red and freakish. I forgot.
Those were both great picks. I only came to learn about Violence Voyager earlier this year, and that's why I ended up putting it on the list, because I was just like, whoa, this seems really cool. I think Aki had submitted it for
Yeah.
a random week, and that's how I learned about it.
Yeah.
And then Mad God I had seen already about a year or two ago, and always wanted to put it on the list, and then you submitted it, and I was like, yes, now I have even more of a reason to put it on. Both are just amazing works, and it's just in a world of AI, I am really just glad that you can see like real like craftsmanship, even if you don't end up liking the actual contents of the story. I think that most people can appreciate like where the art is like coming from and the work that it took to put into making these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Mad God in particular is like just kind of a testament to what you can get when somebody is just dedicated to making shit they think is rad for like decades, and it's like just a bunch of cool like just like a cool unique like vision of hell, and it's just like he was dedicated to putting that out in the world, and like that obviously it took an insane amount of time, but like that you can do that. And like Ivan's Voyager also, like it's just like the extent to which if you have an idea, it is inspiring. Like if you have an idea, you can make it, I guess. Yeah.
I also just think, in terms of Violence Voyager specifically, I think that movie has a really interesting tone that I really enjoy and wish more movies could have, where it's like, on the one hand, it's almost childish, and on the other hand, it's sort of evil and horrifying, and it plays those two against each other in a way that most movies that, yeah, like, going back to what we're saying about it being sort of this someone's just vision, pure vision. It's just like, I can't imagine someone making a movie that has that feeling, and getting like a major budget for it, because so much of it is just like, hey, here's a bunch of stock child characters. Oh no, horrible things are happening to them. Okay, they're back to being stock child characters again. They're gonna keep doing that for the next 30 minutes, and it's awesome.
We're
Like,
also
I
gonna
love
turn
that.
them into weird like mechanical raptors, and it's like
Yes, and they have like a giant. I'll just say they've got an anatomical feature that is like pooping all the time. It's very gross and strange, but at the same time, it's kind of cute. And I really like that fusion of tones, and it made me wish that more stuff could be like that. But of course, it makes a lot of sense why it's not. I think it's definitely for a specific kind of person who is me, I guess.
I will say that Violence Voyager is probably the biggest surprise of NDFF this year for me. Mostly just because when we first started watching it, we were all complaining about the main character being Jimmy Neutron. Or like
It was the friend, yeah.
Yeah, the friend was Jimmy Neutron. I thought the movie was fantastic. I thought it was like so visually interesting. It was unlike almost anything I've ever seen. Mad God is obviously a triumph of like animation altogether. I had seen that one previously, and I enjoyed it just as much on the second watch through. But I would say the Violence Voyager is definitely one of the highlights of the festival to me. Like, I thought that movie was crazy. And I agree with most of what Darby said there.
I feel like I undersold Mad God a little bit. I feel like I spoke a little more about Violence Voyager. But I think Mad God has a really interesting way of portraying hell. Not in like it's all brimstone and fire or all like cold and isolated and distant. It's like there's like mechanicals and like raw meat almost looking things in that movie. There's a part of that movie where there's a doctor that like keeps driving his hand into a body and keeps pulling out gold coins for like 5 minutes, and there's just
God,
a never-ending bottomless pit of gold coins in there. And I was just so enamored. And also that movie just has such a way of toying with you with this atmosphere. It is basically a barrage on the senses, because it never lets up with its like. I feel like that movie, in its depiction of hell, is trying to torture you, and it's like, I just think that movie has so many moving parts that, I don't know. I feel like it's trying to make you into like one of them, into one of the moving parts by just being so viscerally uncomfortable. But also, you can't look away because it's so detailed, and you can tell that every single part of it has so much love went into it, because it was made over the course of 30 years of just being like, I am going to use all of my expertise to make an insane diorama, basically.
I wish
All
I could
right.
have been there for both of those, but I was not.
Well, it's good because Olivia, now you're gonna get to hear whether we recommend the movie or not. The movie that we
Oh,
all praised, the movies that we all praised from a
so
standpoint.
awesome. I can't wait to see what you guys say.
I
Actually, to
recommend
poll the
both.
room, is there anyone who's gonna give a consider to one of the movies?
Me, I'll be giving a consider to Mad God. I think Mad God, it's good, but I think, I even beautiful, wonderful animation. I love beautiful, wonderful animation as much as the next person, but I do feel part of it maybe is it's a movie I want to kind of give a rewatch. I don't really remember why, but something was going on with that movie that made it a little hard for me to focus. But um, I just felt like compared to Violent Voyager, it didn't have the same gripping sort of, I guess, plot and tone. It felt a little bit more, I don't know. And I also
Well,
didn't love
I don't
the
think there
use
really
of
is a
live
plot and
action.
tone. I don't think there really is a plot in Mad God. You just kind of have to soak it all in.
Mhm. That's pretty fair. But yeah,
2
all
thumbs
right,
up.
same from me.
One
Thumbs up.
thumbs up.
One thumbs up. One half
Yeah,
thumbs
Darby's
up.
like this, like meh. Um, I guess it's funny. It's interesting because I feel like for the most part, we all generally agreed or at least liked the movies that we put up top. But there was at least one year where we had a lot of like fluctuating opinions. For example, The Skin I Live In. I know that I think that movie's great.
I like that
Evan
movie.
is
I
a
love that
supreme
one
hater of that
too.
movie.
I
Hated
also
that
don't
movie.
like that movie. I also hated that
I,
movie.
I
I like
remember
that
having no
movie.
opinion. As in, I remember the movie and I had
It
no
was a mixed
opinion.
room.
hmm So yeah, it may seem like this year we kind of had like the same brain, but most of the time we do have some differentiating um, opinions. I have a movie that I think the people who were there for it really loved, and it's the last movie that we'll touch upon. But it is called Survive Style 5. Um,
Oh,
Another movie
yay.
Well,
submitted
okay.
by
Let's
Jaden.
get it. Okay, we need to
Damn.
get this out of the way.
I'm going 3
Technically
for 3.
speaking, maybe it wasn't like a horror movie, but it was like really good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was under the
We
impression
watched a
that
lot
it
of really
wasn't.
good. Yeah.
It was a really good comedy.
We watched a lot of really good Japanese movies this year, I noticed.
Yeah.
Well, the horror
There's
element
a
of this
couple of
movie
duds.
is kind of
Or
just the
not
resurrection
duds,
part.
but
hmm
I
I
liked
didn't
Mermaid
like.
in the Manhole.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine, and like Kite was okay, but like. I really loved some of these.
Survive Style 5 Plus is actually probably my favorite movie that we watched in the festival. I didn't put it in here because it's technically not a horror movie.
Really, when I finished that movie, I had a big smile on my face. I was so happy. That has one
I
of the
think.
sweetest
Mhm.
endings in any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. For real.
I think the plot of the resurrecting wife, which is sort of a spoiler, but not really, like, is the horror element. I think that's the only real place where it comes from, like, horror. But then there's some, like, also, like, one of the comedic elements, I will say, is that there's a dad who gets hypnotized into being a pigeon.
Or
Um,
he thinks he's a bird.
yeah, and that as a concept actually is really horrifying in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, if you got stuck thinking that you're someone else and you can't get undone, that's really scary. And then but a majority of the movie is kind of a comedy. Hell, it's also more of a Christmas movie. There's a Christmas tree at some
That's
point.
true.
So maybe it's a different tradition to watch this
I
at that
mean,
time. But
I
yeah.
was also just really happy that I got to see the guy from the Midnight Meat Train again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah.
happy to see him again.
It also
I was gonna
has
give
a very.
low,
Yeah.
low. Oh,
You can go.
I was gonna give a low key recommendation to the Midnight Meat Train, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna just say, there's also this movie has a very good Hiroshi Abe performance in it for a bit. He really shines in this one as the hypnotist.
I really love the plot with the dad. It's really about learning to like love your family no matter the state they're in, and I think that's really sweet.
I think actually the thing that I wanted to talk about was like I think that segment kind of reminds me of like or like makes me think of like if your you know your parents like become like mentally ill, like dementia, stuff, kind of serious topics like that. It almost reminded me of that, where, you know, loving your family, even though they may have like some form of disability that you
Yeah.
cannot overcome. I thought that made it a really special message, and it kind of that happiness kind of extends to the rest of the stories by the end because I think there's mostly a good ending for just about everyone.
Most everybody.
Yeah, I think everybody gets a
yeah.
good ending.
Oh, and the girl with the magic mind that can create commercials
Yes.
out of thin air.
She's a
The
genius.
girl with the magic mind.
Yes, she had a magic mind. You would have to
I think I'm
see
the only
it.
one.
Right
Okay.
here. Keep going, everyone.
We're almost up, so why don't we? I just want to kind of go on to like our closing thoughts and I guess. Oh yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned what NDFF stands for. It stands
I
for
don't think so.
Nintendoshi Film Festival. That was my old YouTube channel. Don't go there, please. But I
Go to youtube.com/Nintendo.
I'm
oh no, what can of worms am I
Yoshi plays
open?
YT. You should watch him play survival games.
Running it has been not just a privilege, but it's also been like one of my favorite things I get to do with you guys every single year. I
TFF
you know
or KFF also wouldn't sound as good.
I think I
Mhm.
I just really love watching movies with other people. My favorite it's such an easy way for me to like sit down and watch a movie, but also because I get to get like insight from other people while watching the movie.
I also think, I mean, it's like I said earlier, we have really found a certain taste as we've done more and more of these, and I think you can really see it with the kind of movies we were just talking about. And it's like we said, like early on, I think we used to screen more sort of classics, but we also tended to have less of sort of a distinct taste. And even as someone who I don't think I've got the exact same taste as the rest of the film club. Like, I'll be totally honest, I don't fully understand 1313. I don't care about Bigfoot Island. The only one I liked was DB Cooper. That one was awesome, and the rest were just, they didn't match it, if you ask me. But nonetheless, it's like, I think it's a really hard thing to pull off. I can say that having tried running a film festival myself. It's not easy setting such a thing up. It's hard to keep people invested, but I think if you can do it, it's really rewarding, and it really allows a group to both bond and also come to understand, their collective taste. It's a really beautiful thing.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, it's also one of I look forward to this every year and I enjoy it. And I mean, also just doing it every week and the non-horror themed. For years, I was part of two weekly group watches, and the other one actually ended earlier this year. So this is the only one I've got left. So I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate having discovered how awesome Tubi is. I love the streaming. I'm giving you free advertising. You better not
Sponsored
make
for
me regret
Tubi.
saying this on
Tubi!
camera. I love you, Tubi.
Tubi,
Nobody else likes
tomorrow is
Sloppy
going to
Seconds.
get
I thought that was a
canceled.
pretty funny movie. Everybody else.
It had
Funny.
a really purple poster. I'll say that for it.
It was very purple.
It had a really purple
It was
poster.
very purple.
After that movie was over, I went and puked because I drank too much.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, can we show that for NDFF? Bring it back.
That was our like 200th movie. You guys
Yeah.
picked that
It was.
200th movie.
Hopefully I'm not lagging out right now, but my closing remark would be
You're
that my friend Kevin, I like to give him a hard time a lot of the time, but I want him to know that I appreciate NDFF. I've been there since the very first one. feel like my attendance has gotten better over time, actually, which is weird because my life has gotten more busy. But it's always like the old standby, because horror movies are my favorite type of movie. And NDFF always has such a variety. I love the community that we've created with it. I think it's great, like, that everybody's able to submit their own stuff and, like, bring this weird hodgepodge of stuff. Sometimes we watch horrible things, sometimes we watch good things. I never really know what to expect, and I think that keeps it thriving and fun every year.
Thank you. I think it's just
forget.
Red and Evil
Did
left.
Did I watch, or was I there for NDFF 1? I don't remember, really.
Did you watch Wolf Creek or Scream or
Antichrist.
I did
I
watch
think, was
Scream,
in.
yes. I watched Scream.
You were there, you just
You
weren't in
might
it
have
at
been.
very
It was
many
2020?
of them, yeah.
It was the 2020 one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we watched Carrie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Mhm.
Yeah. That was a good-
Great.
that was a good movie.
Wow.
Great closing remarks.
Thanks.
We also watched Drag Me to Hell. That's one of my least favorite movies. I hate that movie.
Why do you hate
The movie's
Drag Me
much
to
better
Hell?
Same
than-
movie, Drag Me to Hell.
It looks like you got dragged to hell on camera right now.
Kevin, I think you should talk about Slop Week. I think you should talk.
Oh.
That's kind of a film festival too.
That's a
Okay,
whole
so
nother
really-
can of worms.
That's a whole nother
Really quick
episode.
things, yeah. So in film club and in NDFF we had slop, which is just like our term for like bad movies that rot your brain. And I have done a lot of themed weeks around slop because I think it's really funny to just turn your brain off. And again, we kind of did that a bit with Curses this year with the Sixth Entry, but I do generally like to watch movies in a real, like, you know, not calm per se. Like, I enjoy discussions with like talking during the movie. Like, I don't get distracted by it. But Slop and Slop Week are active assaults against your brain. So again, that's another thing where it's like, depending on the type of friends that you have, you can kind of watch movies whatever way you want. My recommendation, if you want to do something like this with your friends, get a Discord or get, you know, real people that you love near you in your living room. Ask them what movies they want to watch. Try to create themes. Try and do parties. Bring them in. Invite them. Have a good time. Enjoy the love of cinema and just everything that filmmaking and watching entertainment has to offer with your friends, and make every moment count. So yeah,
Yeah, and watch 8 Evil Bong movies
thank you
in
all
a
for
row.
being here.
Yeah,
That's,
well, we only
yes,
watched
we
Yeah.
watched
four.
Evil Bong movies.
Watch
Or
all
5?
of them. We watched
I
a
think it
lot,
was
yeah.
only 4. I think it was
We
1,
also watched
2,
a Halloween puppy.
4,
And
and
an Easter
6.
Bunny puppy.
And
An Easter Bunny puppy.
Or was it 8? So 5 actually.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love
should've
movies.
said
I
that.
love movies.
Hippity
so much,
hoppity.
guys.
I specifically
Woof.
love an Easter Bunny puppy and not really many other movies, so.
Hippity hoppity woof.
All right, we should probably let
Easter Bunny
Kevin
puppy
Yeah,
out.
and
sign
Go
off.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, that is it for this special episode of Pages to Pixels. Before I go, I just wanted to shout out all the other people who made Film Club and NDFF special, the people who have joined infrequently or whatnot. But we've got Ryan, Hannah, Abel, Triptych, Dew, Fleb, James, Jonathan Livingston Siegel, aka Darby's brother, Donovan. Let's see, Max, Monica, Parker, Will, Bushy, Theb, one time, Apollo, Pi, Cobra, Ori, and of course, Eddie, Jaden Vivo, William Howard Taft, and of course Teo. But yeah, thank you
And
guys
Theodore Rex.
so much for being
Yeah,
and
that's Theodore
Theodore
Rex.
Rex and rateyourbraidsticks.com. That's talent. But yeah, this has been a great time, and yeah, any last words from all of you?
Shout out
If you ever want to watch the movie Theodore Rex, that's on streaming somewhere. I think it's really a good movie. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. So hope you do that. I also have other social media, but I'm not going to plug them. I'll just plug the movie Theodore Rex.
Watch.
Shout out to the actual
watch
best movie we watched.
Bigfoot versus
Ernest Scared
DB
Stupid.
Cooper.
Give me
Everybody look at
$5
Ernest
on
Scared.
Venmo.
13 giant killer bees.
If you could please help me
Any
out by
last
giving
one?
me $5 on Venmo, I'd really appreciate it.
$5? $5? You
Don't
want
give them
$5?
$5 on Venmo. Give it to me instead.
He doesn't
No,
need
give
it.
them 20.
He doesn't need
Give
it.
them $20.
Yeah, give me
I do need it.
$50. $50. Going once, going twice.
I'll
gotta
just
buy
I'll
Taco
just
Bell.
plug. There's this great podcast. It's called Pages to Pixels. It's got a great host on it. His name's Kevin. I think you should check that out.
Yes!
I actually have my own podcast called Pages to
And Rohan and
Pixels.
Kirtana, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's a better
Let's give it up.
podcast that I run.
Thank them for for them allowing this to happen.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so
Thank
much.
you for letting me
I'm so
hijack
happy
your
to be
podcast.
here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who's
in
editing
advance.
this episode?
Probably me.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.